Coming up next, I'm going to tell you 5 fragrances that are not beast mode. I've done 5 fragrances that last 12 hours or more. This is a list of 5 fragrances that actually last maybe 4 to 5 hours, but that I still love and wear all the time and I think are just as good as beast mode fragrances. Stay tuned to find out what they are. Welcome back everybody to JoelTheNose. And today I'm going to do a video which is kind of a follow-up on some videos I've done recently where I talked about 5, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, so I'm also a little congested. Some videos I've done recently where I talked about 5 fragrances that last 12 or more hours. I did one that I recommended. I've done one recently where Maurice from Osme recommended 5 fragrances in that category. But you know what I think just is important, at least for me, are fragrances that don't last that long but are still excellent. And I think there's a misnomer in the fragrance community that all fragrances need to be beast mode. And I understand most people want fragrances that last, 8 hours, a full day. But I gotta say, I actually, for me, that's not such a big issue because I like a fragrance that actually can go through a complex dry down in a few hours, and then I put on other fragrances. So I wear 2 to 3 fragrances throughout the day. I have so many fragrances. I've talked about this before. We've all got so many fragrances in our collection. A lot of people do that. You'll never use them all. So one way, of course, to use them all is to wear more each day. And I do. I'll wear one in the morning. I'll maybe change one out in the afternoon and maybe even put one on later in the evening. But having said that, I'm going to give you 5 fragrances that I love from my collection that last about 4 to 5 hours on my skin. And so let's get right into this. I'm going to walk right over here. And first, I'm going to tell you about Philosykos. This is Philosykos from Diptyque, the French niche house. This is to me one of the best all-time fig fragrances. This is the EDT version. Now, a lot of these fragrances I'm talking about here today are going to be EDT eau de toilette because that typically has less perfume alcohol concentration, not perfume alcohol, perfume concentration. So that's, typically not going to means if it has less perfume concentration or, materials, then it's going to be, of course, typically, not always, but as a general rule, not as long lasting on your skin. Now, this again is one of these fragrances that's so versatile. I love it. I wear it all the time. It's that fig. It's just mesmerizing. It's beautiful. It's lifting. It's very green. It's very life-giving. It makes me feel energetic. I wear it before I go to the gym. It's not going to overpower people, but it's going to make me feel great. So this is a great fragrance. There is an EDP version. I prefer the original, the EDT version. Again, matter of choice, matter of preference. But great fragrance, and again, generally get about 4 to 5 hours of wearing on my skin. Let's go next. And this is a newer fragrance, actually, that I've just added to my collection in the last week or so, but I've been wearing for a while. And this is Mandragore Pourpre from Goutal. This is an EDP, it's an eau de parfum, it's a true masterpiece. This is just, to me, this is a wonderful mint fragrance. But it's a subtle mint fragrance. A lot of the mint fragrances I like Vertazère and from Veronique Gabai, Vertazère, which I love, Beach Hut Man, which is, again, a very strong mint fragrance. This is a more subtle mint fragrance, and it dries down to this beautiful kind of cedar dry down that just fits perfectly for my skin. You can see it's a lighter juice. Actually, I didn't hold the bottle up real well for you there, but that's, as you can see the bottle. Mandragore Pourpre. It's been out for a long time, over 10 years. So Goutal, wonderful niche fragrance house. I get about 4 to 5 hours. This has a similar effect on me in that it's very energetic. It's very, just makes me feel full of life and energy. I can wear this anywhere. I love wearing this one to start the day. Very similar to Philosykos. But it's also one that's, because mint is both energetic to me and soothing, I can put it on at night before I go to bed, and it's wonderful. Excuse me. This cold has been nasty. All right. Next, And this is from the house of Andrea Maack. This is X Entrance. This is, a fragrance that came out in the last year. It's one of her newer fragrances. And again, this is a beautiful, little bit of a spicy fragrance. And it's spicy. Just make sure you can get a good view of it. But it's got this beautiful kind of saffron, nutmeg. There's some vetiver in there. It dries down again into a cedar base, which I love. You can see I truly love. It's an eau de parfum. And like most of Andrea Maack's fragrances on my skin, I also have Craft, which is another just beautiful cedar fragrance. Hers to me are not beast mode. These are more sensual fragrances. And that's what all these are. They're more for people when they get in close to you, that it just kind of envelops them into your little scent bubble. And these are not going to be, loud beast mode, long-lasting fragrances, but I get probably about 5 to 6 hours from X Entrance. It's a little bit longer than the first two I mentioned, but truly one I wear all the time and one I really enjoy. Okay, let's go to my number 4 choice, and this is kind of an interesting one. This is Brooks Brothers New York. Had this for a while, for a few years now. This is, of course, a designer fragrance. Brooks Brothers, for those of you who don't know, is the oldest American fashion house. It's been around since the 1800s. Classic. Brooks Brothers is known as classic gentleman in New York. My dad wore Brooks Brothers clothes. To have a Brooks Brothers suit was like the ultimate sign of like Wall Street. They're actually now making a comeback again with some new fashion designers, so I think kind of restoring the brand. But my dad wore a lot of Brooks Brothers cologne in the 70s and 80s, so it kind of reminds me of him. That's why I love this. I found this in like TJ Maxx a couple years ago for I think $15, 100 milliliters. It's classic barbershop fougere. In my mind, when I think barbershop fougere, this is exactly what comes to mind. I don't know if there's a better fragrance out there. It's so, it just, again, reminds me of my dad. Happy memories, reminds me of growing up in the 70s and 80s. And reminds me of New York, which I love the city of New York. I will say this one probably I get about 3 to 4 hours. It's an eau de toilette, and it's very intense. It's very fresh. It's like, that gum when we were little, like they had like either juicy fruit or there was that Gatorade gum, that you would chew. It was really intense, full of flavor for like 10 minutes and then it was gone. It's kind of how this is, but it's not gone after 10 minutes. It's about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours tops. But what's nice is then I can just reapply it if I want, or I'll put it on before I go to the gym, or maybe in the morning before I go run errands, before I've taken a shower and I have to do some things in the morning maybe. This is a perfect fragrance to wear. Again, it just is energetic, and all these fragrances, they have that common theme. They give me energy, and they allow me to put on something else, later in the day. So Brooks Brothers New York. And then last, but certainly not least, another fragrance that I've gotten in the last year from the designer world also, and that is Hermès H24. Hermès H24. This is just super green. I think you've seen a couple of these fragrances go with that green theme, whether it be fig or mint. Yeah, it's very similar. It's an eau de toilette. I don't know if they're going to be doing a flanker with this because this was a new series that they launched. Hermès kind of broke away from their old, the more vetiver-based line, like, the whole Jardin and, Terre d'Hermès and those. This definitely goes in a different direction. I don't know whether it's been successful. It seems to me people are kind of polarized on this fragrance. I like it. To me, it's a quick grab and go fragrance that I can pull off early in the morning again, or late at night when I go to bed. Again, that green just gives you energy, gives you just a little extra, pep in your step, a little extra something for the day. And it's gone after I'd say about 4 hours I get on my skin. So again, perfect to put it on and then know that you're either gonna put more on later, which is fine, or you're gonna, try a totally different fragrance, which allows me to wear multiple fragrances in the day, which again, I said at the top of the video, is important for me actually. So there you have it. Those are 5 fragrances that are not beast mode. You're gonna get about 4 hours, maybe 5 hours tops. At least I do on my skin. Of course, everybody's skin is different. I gotta put that caveat in the video because I want you to know that you gotta try it on your skin. You may find you get longer, you may get shorter. Each one, you know, each person's gonna be a little bit different on this stuff. But I think these fragrances are important. They have their place in your collection. And not every fragrance should be a beast mode fragrance because this allows you to wear more fragrance and try more things on your skin throughout the day, which I am a big fan of doing. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing if you've already done it. I'll be back soon with another video. Peace, love, and perfume.